Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is beginning of the month for June Tarot Oracle reading. And Aquarius, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Aquarius, we all have a little bit of Aquarius in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Aquarius in? That could give you further information as to your situation now. Also, this is a timely reading. So if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity because this is the perfect time for you to be receiving this information. All right, I just want to make sure. There we have it. Perfect. Yes. All right. Are you coming up here, Stella? Or are you going to go and eat your supper? Okay. All right. So we do have Six of Pentacles is the underlying energy for the entire reading. And this is talking about sowing seeds to reap a harvest later. And Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. They are in the shape of coins because a big part of happiness in the 3D world is having enough money to enjoy it. And, you know, this is a big part of it. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world. If you don't have your health and you don't have love in your life, you're not going to be living your best lifestyle. Now, this person is handing out coin. This would be probably upper middle class energy. And they have enough coin now they feel that they can hand out some to charity. And they're giving to this person because they feel their discernment is telling me that this person is going to appreciate this and be able to work with it to do something for themselves. Whereas they have the scales of justice over this person. And this is talking about, hey, if you look closer, this person has something in their pocket already. So why are you out here on the street begging for funds to get started when you already have what you need in your own back pocket? This is someone that wants to risk my money, but not their own. It's that type of energy. And he's like, no way, you're not getting my money. So this is learning the give and take in the universe. Basically, time, money, energy invested in any project, person. How much are you willing to invest? And what do you anticipate the return to be? And is it a fair exchange of energy? We have the King of Wands here, and this is the underlying energy. This is for the entire reading, and this is for the internal forces. Now, your internal forces are what, of course, comes from within. And internal forces, you'll know it's an internal force because you'll be asking questions like, what if I do this and then they do that? And what if they don't do this and then I have to do that? Energy like what if, woulda, shoulda, coulda, the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life, basically, that can keep you up all night in the same old loop. And we have the King of Wands energy is talking about someone who is one of the four kings in the minor arcana. He is considered the sexiest, most charismatic. He's really a visionary. His element is the element of fire. And this is represented by the wand. The wand is made of wood because wood fuels the fire. So this is talking about taking passionate action. He's a visionary. He's someone that likes to look at things and find a better way to do it, to bring that into the world. And this is someone that's a lot of fun to be with. He's someone that people enjoy being in his company. Now, the thing about the King of Wands, you notice on the back of his throne here, he has these salamanders in a circle, and he also has this little lion here. And a little salamander is running by. The salamander and lion energy is representing protection from fire. He doesn't need protection from fire he has protection from fire because that is his element. And this can, on the back of the throne here, I noticed that this looks like a face. a while back, and now every time I see this card, I see this. Like there's two eyes here, a mustache with the smoke coming out of the nose and the mouth. Now this could just mean that he's smoking hot, or it could indicate that where there's smoke, there's fire. The thing about the King of Wands to understand is that his love of adventure and love of, the new has a tendency to bleed into his romantic life as well. This will be one of the kings that's one of the last, matures into wanting to settle down much later if they ever do. Like this is someone who really values their freedom. All of the fire signs are that way. Aries and Leo and Sagittarius. So this is it's just good to know that they have a tendency to be a bit older when they mature enough to settle down and start a family, be in a committed relationship. And we do have because we do have a Knight of Cups coming in. So if this is the energy of the King of Wands, make sure he's ready to settle down if you accept this love offer. Or you might be the King of Wands giving this offer. We do have a Queen of Pentacles here that you might be considering giving this offer to. So you might feel like be in this stage in your life where you are ready to settle down. The cups in tarot represent love. Especially with this card, romantic love, but it doesn't have to be. It can be love of anyone or anything, and also even love of something you love to do or something you love to be. Generally, this is the knight in shining armor, the one we read about in the romance novels, the damsel in distress and the hero coming in and saving the day and offering the cup of love, and they ride off into the sunset to live happily ever after. But they don't show us what happens the next day. But we can, this is that energy. And so the knights would work for the king and queen, delivering messages far and wide. In the old days, that's the only way that they had of long distance communication. These days, this energy could be representing, it doesn't have to come in by horsepower, but it could come in by delivery of, flowers possibly, or maybe something, a card or an invitation, something that comes in the mail. Possibly you get a phone call, a text message, a message on social media. There's so many platforms where that could happen. And also you might see an event posted and go to an event and whoa, there you meet this person and it's, love at first sight, and next thing you know, there's a serious proposal happening here. So this is talking about generally the Knight of Cups is wanting to make a commitment of some sort, and in matters of love. So this energy is the energy that you're in right now. So this could represent you. You could be the King of Wands, or you could be the queen, wanting, like in that position. We don't know for sure yet. And, or someone could be coming in and offering that to you. And then we have this energy. We have the Three of Cups. Now, this is following close after the heels of this one. So I'm assuming that this energy is something, maybe this doesn't work out, this energy, because we have 3 cups here, and this is 5 cups in total, but these 3 here, these 3 are all spilt. And, there's a saying, don't cry over spilt milk, because once milk is spilt into the ground, you're not going to be able to recover it. This is a loss, something that can't be recovered. So this could represent that the offer didn't come through, or you didn't accept the offer, or they chose, something happened and they didn't show up for whatever reason. And or you did get into a short-term relationship and it spilt. So this can represent the energy of sometimes a third-party involvement. This is 2 cups of wine and then a cup of another liquid. So it could be someone else coming in and stopping this from happening. It doesn't have to be a third party, because at the beginning of a relationship, it's not that. It could have been some sort of interference of any kind. if you're like, if someone asks you out on a date and they don't show up, then that's probably, you wouldn't consider that a betrayal of, a third party involvement, so much as maybe something came up and they couldn't make it, and that was that. And so there's 2 cups standing. You might be really disappointed, but there's no point standing here and being disappointment. This is a loss, whatever it is, or, you just move forward. And so you pick up the 2 cups that are standing, cross, go down this path here, cross over the bridge over troubled water, and head for your castle. And so this castle energy is also half standing and half dilapidated, which can represent, you have to have a good attitude to, is your cup half full, or is it half empty? And also this energy if it's not about romantic love, this could just represent some sort of energy coming in. There was an emergency, this happened, that happened, life shift happens in life. So we have this is the High Priestess energy. Now the High Priestess represents joyful energy. This is infinite potential. So 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And the crescent moon here just indicates that she does follow the cycles of the moon. And she is sitting in between 2 extremes here. And there's a lot of information coming at her. That's in the background. You can see all that is information. And of course, information equals energy. So when you have all this energy coming your way, it sometimes can be overwhelming. And it's a lot of times a lot of people feel that way with all the ways we have of communicating now and the constant information, that it can be overwhelming and people have difficulty making choices. Which choice do I make? So the High Priestess she asks the logical question, and then she uses her intuition to feel like, which is the best answer here? Which one is the strongest for me? How do I feel about that? What is in my heart? What are my authentic desires? And she is in between 2 major extremes, because this pillar represents Jesus and this pillar represents the devil. So this is talking about 2 extremes and getting neutral to the information enough that you're using, instead of trying to make emotional decisions, you're using that feeling energy to feel which one is weak and which one is strong for you. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is how you, before we get into the Queen of Pentacles, this is how you are, your self-image right now. Either, this whatever happened here, it didn't seem to fly. Something stopped it from happening. It doesn't necessarily mean, I feel like this was some sort of life event or something happened. And this is talking about early communication. So early communication, there could have been a communication breakdown there, or it could have been something that happened in the family or whatever, and there was maybe some family matters that interrupted it. It wasn't the right time. The timing was off. It could be a bazillion reasons. And so this is talking about communication being thrown off somehow. And then this is the Queen of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Pentacles is representing one of 4 queens. And the Pentacle energy, we already discussed that. The Queen is considered to be very resourceful. She's known to make something out of nothing, and is able to, is highly respected for that ability. She does have, prefers quality over quantity. So this isn't flashy money. This is, old money, basically. It's not about having all the designer things and doing her best to impress everybody. This wouldn't be a media influencer, in the way of, look at all the beautiful shift I have. Opening boxes and talking about, oh, look at what I purchased this week. It's not that type of energy at all. It's the opposite of that. But what is really interesting here is this is talking about generational wealth and a legacy for having money to pass down from one generation to the next. And if she's so frugal and so able to do that, why is she that way? Like, why doesn't she have more generational wealth? What happened to her wealth? That's what I want to know. That's my pressing question for the Queen of Pentacles. And maybe she's working on it. Maybe she also is saying, hey, what happened to my generational wealth here? Something went, sideways here. And then we have, so right now it's like this is not starting off Aquarius on the best foot as moving forward, but I feel the energy is shifting because we do have the star energy coming up here now. And this is very galactic energy. This is the North Star energy. It's saying as long as you are on your destined path and you're following the North Star energy, and your path would be recognizing the talents that you have and the ability that you have, and adding that to the universal pool, and then pouring that out onto Earth. So bringing that energy down to Earth. And the pentacle energy, this is as she's pouring this water out onto the Earth, there's 5 streams, and that 5 streams represent the 5 points on the pentacle. So this is talking about bringing your special qualities, mixing them in the universal pool, staying on your path to be the best version of you that you can be, and bringing that energy down to Earth so that you're a star shining as bright as you can shine. And this is talking about being in a playful energy, somewhat like an innocent child, but bringing those qualities and benefiting the Earth from doing so. And this is in your creativity, romance, and children. Now we have for the the next position here would be your daily routine habits, how your health, that type of energy, your daily routines and how it affects the health of your life, of your, your financial life, your physical health, your spiritual health, all of that energy. This is speaking about immature competition. I consider this my Mean Girls card. It's, if you think about narcissistic cheerleaders, that they're at a competition, and think like grade 6 to grade 12 energy, or grade 10 energy. This is an energy of, they see the other team at the competition is better than them. They can see they have better moves and that they've clearly practiced more. They're more together, but they want that trophy no matter what. And they'll do anything to win. They don't care how they get it. They have to have that trophy. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure they do. So this is when the trophy matters more than the purpose of competition. And especially when it comes to sports, the trophy, hey, it's always awesome to win the trophy and to come in first. It's really awesome. Having said that, if you are getting that trophy because you were cheating or whatever, because you just have to have it, this energy is talking about not learning from the competition. So it's really not beneficial for you. After you mature, you start to realize that the competition, any competition really, and no matter what it is, it's more of a competition within yourself. Like, are you going to do better than when you go out there? Even when you're under pressure, are you able to discipline your mind? Are you able to control your emotions and get out there and do the best job that you can do? And if you make it a point that even if it's only 1% better, every time you go out there and you do something, that you are going to be 1% better at it than you were the last time, that energy can be very powerful. And especially if you have a team of players that are willing to do that, when the team comes together, it can really add up to a lot and improve the performance greatly. So this is about being mature enough to learn from the competition and use it to inspire you so that you can be, a better version of yourself every time you compete. And this, and be proud of the progress that you're making. and moving forward in that way. Now, this is the internal forces. So this sometimes can represent. Okay, you can come up here. This represents sometimes sibling rivalry, which is my cat is being very obnoxious today. I lift her up. Okay, you nice kitty. And then she just jumps right off again. Okay, just wanted to see if I have you well trained or not. That's how she's been behaving all day. Talking about being the boss. Yay. Okay, so we do have, now she's walking off. It's okay. I'm going to go and have my dinner now. I'm not going to sit on your lap. Just, you can proceed. And so we have, for the external forces, the underlying energy is the Page of Wands. And so the Page of Wands, this is talking about, the energy of someone who's around 7 to 14 years of age to 21, kind of basically in that frame. And they would work for the king and queen. In the old days, they would be working within the palace walls, and it would be a real coup for them to get that job. Now, you might think, 7 to 14 is really young to be working, but you have to remember back then the life expectancy was about half of what it is now. So people worked way earlier. And so this would be a real coup. For them and their family, it would be a way better employment than probably what was out there for everyone else. So this this is like a young, enthusiastic energy, someone who's really proud of themselves. They've got a feather in their cap, they're dressed in beautiful garments, and they have an important position delivering communication for the palace. And it's the same type of idea. The information can come in many ways. In the old days, this would always be a male, but now this could represent a female in their masculine energy. And I just want to point out that's true of all the figures in tarot. They're archetypes, so they're not gender specific. They're more representative of masculine and feminine energy. And so the pages, when they became older, when they were 21, if they were still there and they were doing a really good job, they might even be considered for knighthood if they were able to afford their own horse. So the Page of Wands is delivering communication within the palace walls, running small errands and tasks. And the thing to remember about the Page of Wands, when the Page of Wands comes through, is that yes, he admires his wand. He is looking up to it. And so you have to remember that quite often this energy is thinking with their little head and not with their big head. So half the time their mind is on something else than the information. So it might be a little bit scrambled and not 100% clear. But it'll be enthusiastic. And then we have this energy, the Hangman. The Hangman energy is talking about, sometimes this can be stuck energy, and it could represent this, because this is about to go into commitment, partnerships, and marriage. So if there was someone that you thought was going to come in with and possibly that was this King of Wands energy, what did he do? Lose his passion? Did he run into, what happened to you? What happened to the offer? So this is stuck energy. But this also represents someone who is hanging from the tree of knowledge, and he's hanging upside down because he wants to gain a better perspective. So maybe the King of Wands decided, I'm going to take a look at this situation a little bit more clearly before I take action. I want to look at it from all perspectives. Consult with people, and maybe there was some immature competition there that gave him some misinformation or whatever, and that stopped him from coming forward, and now this energy is stuck. And so this is commitment, partnerships, and marriage. And so, whatever happens with that, let's see. We do have the Four of Swords. Yeah, so this is someone that is overthinking, and wants to quiet the mind. So this is talking about, laying the mind to rest. And this person is in a church, it looks like. There's a stained glass window here. And he's meditating and praying because he wants to quiet his mind. He wants to figure out, like, should I or shouldn't I? That type of, he's caught in this overthinking loop. So he hangs his 3 swords on the wall, which represent the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. The subconscious mind is formed by the time you're about 6 or 7. And this energy, this is the element of air, so it's your thoughts. And, the swords represent your mental intelligence and your discipline of your mind. And the subconscious mind is formed by the time we're about 6 or 7. And it's, if you think back and you try and remember what happened before you were, like when you were a baby or up to that age, generally most people don't have very many clear memories because they, unless there was something traumatic happening. Like I remember being in an accident and being taken to the hospital when I was 3. And I remember it almost like a movie. It plays in my head. It's almost like something that I can play in my head right now, and I could describe it to you in extreme detail. And I was only 2.5 or 3 years old at the time, but it was significant. And I can talk about the time after that happened, but I don't have much memory. I have a few memories. When I was up to about the age of 6, I remember crying at kindergarten for my mummy. So other than that, a lot of times we don't remember, and that this energy is talking about the subconscious mind being very heavily imprinted on us. So it can have an effect on us well into our adulthood. And that energy will be like there with us. And when we get triggered, that's what we tend to rely on, is our subconscious memory. But when you think about it, it's really the thoughts of the people who were in charge of our care when we were a baby, their values, how they handled situations, how they felt about money and relationships, etc. And babies in particular absorb the environment around them like a sponge. So it is heavily imprinted, and we do tend to rely on it, especially when we're triggered. And the unconscious mind is talking about the energy of your soul, your spiritual needs. And a lot of people will say, yes, I am a human being and I have a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body, and this is your vehicle for getting around. And if you don't get your needs met as a soul, then you are going to start arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is very aware of what just happened. So it's like, I went to the store, I bought these 3 things, I brought them home, I made supper, and then I watched TV for a while and I went to bed. That type of energy. You can relate that story. You have memory of it. It's very clear. And so if you can get the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind working together through meditation and prayer, then you start quieting your mind and you control it. You should always control your mind. Your mind should not be controlling you. And we do have the word PAX on this stained glass window, P-A-X, and this is representing peace, peace of mind. So there's some sort of transition coming in from connecting with source energy about, I don't know what exactly this is, but definitely something happened here. And maybe it has always bothered you, like what happened to that dude, or that gal, that person, what happened to them? I thought that, I thought we had a connection. I always wondered whatever happened that day, that type of energy. But you're on a new cycle now. So maybe this, you've just decided, well, whatever. And you move on, and the cycle begins. And this is talking about being on a new cycle. The Fool starts at the 0 point and moves into a new cycle. It's talking about being innocent in that cycle. The sun is white, showing that innocence. Although you have a little bit of baggage because you are taking what happened to you from the last cycle or cycles that you've been through, depending on what your life is like. And you can see these sleeves are tattered, showing that you have been on a cycle or two, and that you can take that information with you for your higher learning moving into the new cycle. But the new cycle is a leap of faith. It's like, yahoo, I get to go on a new beginning. And I feel like that's the energy that we are in right now. So I want to talk about the full moon tonight. The full moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. And it's a blue moon. And a blue moon is when there are 2 moons in 1 month. And this only happens about every 2.5 to 3 years. So this is a special occasion. It's quite, it's relatively rare. And this one is in Sagittarius. And it's talking, Sagittarius is an energy, very much this energy, wanting to go on adventures, and they love to learn through travel and culture and trying out new. And this energy, the moon is in Sagittarius, and it's about the higher learning through your intuition. Now, directly across the horoscope wheel is Gemini from Sagittarius. And whatever the sign is that's directly across from you on the wheel, that energy is going to have quite an effect on you, and you on that sign. So the moon being in Sagittarius is using intuitive intelligence, higher learning, and the Gemini energy is talking, let's use our logic. And it's about wanting to use logical thinking. Gemini energy is very quick-witted. Sometimes Geminis are accused of being, two people, because they can go from one thought to another very quickly, and they adapt to change way easier than a lot of other signs. This is really the best combination for this energy that we're in right now, is using your intuition and your logic, and using each of those qualities in a real strong way, like the High Priestess does. So this is a real big opportunity, this full moon, that's a blue moon. Now, don't be expecting the moon to be blue. Sometimes we do have a blue colored moon, but that's generally when a volcano erupts and there's a lot of ash in the sky, or there's a lot of forest fires around in ash. And that ash and the smoke, it blocks out the red rays of light and causes the moon to appear blue from the position of the earth. So the moon will be the same color, but it will be considered a blue moon. Once in a blue moon is the same. So this, I feel, is a launching energy. It's like a launching pad moving into the energy of June. And on June 9th, Jupiter, which rules the Sagittarius energy, is going to be moving into the sign of Cancer. And Venus, which is all about love, is joining Cancer there. And it has been something like 30 some years since this has happened. So a lot of astrologers are saying this is the luckiest day of the year for love and money. And some are going so far as to say it's the luckiest day of the decade. So keep June 9th in mind, and I feel that we can use this really rare energy from the blue moon in Sagittarius, this happy-go-lucky, adventurous energy, and use it as a launching pad to move into that energy on June 9th. So if there's something that you've really been, wanting to have come into your life, or you want to start a project, take small steps to look into doing that, and entertain that type of energy. And look at this, we do have a lover coming in now. So this is, in the old days, the lover would be choice. So if you already are happy with your romantic partner, this energy definitely is more like, I could use a lover kind of energy, someone that shows up, that kind of energy. And this is the sun shining on this, and there's a cloud in between them. So this is saying this is someone that you have not been in a relationship with before. It could be someone you know from your past. We do have this page, this passionate energy of the page. And so this energy sometimes does represent that this could be someone that you've known from when you were maybe in elementary school, high school, college or whatever, and maybe it was even someone that you thought you might have a relationship with, but then life happened, and you moved to one college and they moved to another, whatever happened. So the Lover's energy doesn't necessarily have to be about a lover, but it can be about choices of the people that you want to do business with, associate with, all of those kinds of energies. So take it, if you are though single, I'm saying there is an opportunity for someone coming into your life that, this can also represent you haven't seen, maybe whatever happened here happened 7 years ago or up to 14 years ago, or even as far back as 21 years ago. So this is saying that, there might be a second opportunity here. And we have the moon. So this is talking about using your intuition. When the moon energy comes out, it is talking about hidden illusions and secrets coming out at times. This can be, this lobster is deciding to climb out of this emotional water and go get on his path. He's like, I know I'm going to be vulnerable. There's a dog and a wolf both howling at the moon, and it's a blue moon. So there's a lot of energy behind it. But he's decided he's going to go on his path, and he wants to stay in between these two pillars and not be distracted by outside energy. This is also talking about eclipse energy. We have the sun, the full moon, and the new moon being represented here. So we did have an eclipse season back on the 17th of February and again on March 3rd. Though that energy is still percolating on the back burner, and it's you're quite often it'll last about 6 months, the eclipse energy, and so you'll look back maybe like, well, that would be around mid-August for this eclipse energy. And you'll notice, wow, there was a whole lot of change happening in my life. And maybe you didn't even really notice it that much because you were so busy being in it. And so that's this energy coming in. Now, this is talking about blessings coming in, probably maybe from second chance. I keep getting the word second chances, another chance, another opportunity. If something didn't work out in the past, this energy maybe... you can't have this exact energy, but maybe something similar but better, because that's what we're working towards, is always, and look at this, there's an Ace of Cups coming in. So definitely there is an opportunity for those of you who want love, and this time it's going to be like a true offer, like it'll happen. Whatever happened back then. And I mean, normally I would say that this would be not someone that you already have been in a situation like that, but this could be more like someone that you met and you were going to get together and then something happened and you didn't. It wouldn't be someone that you had a relationship with and they had a third party or whatever. I don't feel it's that energy at all. This would be someone that you have never had a relationship with. And then this is talking about it being peaceful, overflowing with love, something that is destined by the universe and by the divine. And even the flowers, the water lilies are growing, showing that out of the mud comes these beautiful flowers. All right, this is a good reading for you, Aquarius. It looks like there's a lot of opportunity here. There's not it can also be about this pentacle energy and something that you love to do or love to be, and you maybe have another opportunity to get into that energy again. And okay, so if you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy, likes and comments. I really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing. I would be honored. We're going to clarify for those that want more clarification. I'm using my Oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is something that I started in 2007. In 2022, 2020, I completed all 64 paintings, and now I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings in the order they appear in my gallery. And the energy is So like the cards here, I will put them in the order they appear here down in the description box below so that you can take a look at it. If you want, you'll know which paintings to look for. The website information will be there, and also what else was I going to say? Oh, this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light, if I didn't mention that. We do have the foolhardy energy, so this is saying going on, you can anticipate this journey being something that's really fruitful as long as you stay on your destined path. You've learned a lot in the process going around, and this is saying you can anticipate a strong future. We do have the scotoma, and this is talking about love is blind. And after doing a lot of readings lately, I'm telling you, I feel like for sure that is a true saying. When we really care about someone, a lot of times we don't want to see things about them, so we just don't. And this is talking also about the windshield being smaller than, or the windshield being larger than the rear view mirror for good reason. Because it's better to focus on your future, where you want to go, than on the failures from the past. You want to reflect on them, learn from them. And also, this is talking, there could have been a blind spot somewhere with this King of Wands energy that is here. And we have the devil on here. So what is that? What is that about? So there is a blind spot, a scotoma. That is when someone, when you see something that others can't see, and you're the only one that can see it, or others can see something about someone that you can't see and they can all see it, or nobody can see it, or everybody can see it. So interesting. Let's see, whenever the devil card comes up, it's talking about some sort of temptation happened. Now, when the devil shows up, you're not going to get the truth out of this energy because it's so manipulative. But what we can do is cover the card, and I want to see, who does the devil send in to do his dirty work? Because he's got to find a minion to do it for him. And if so, like, what is it about? What was the point? That type. Who is it? Or does God cover it? And we have this Cancer energy. Isn't that interesting? So I want to make it very clear that when I have signs coming in from the horoscope, I'm not talking about specific people. I'm talking about the energy coming up of the sign. Now, isn't this interesting? Because this day that we're looking forward to on June 9th, is that we're anticipating could be, let's take the astrologers on their word that this is a very lucky day, and that it could be, or a decade, the luckiest day of the year or the decade, depending on the information I could find. And so this is talking about that moving into the sign of Cancer. So I'm not talking about an individual when I have the signs come up. I'm talking about what can we learn from each of the signs. If you ever do have your birth chart done, you'll find that you do probably have most signs in your chart somewhere, and most of the planets. If not all of them, then most of them. And this is talking about that energy coming in on June 9th. And it's also talking about the fact that Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so this moon energy, I do feel it's confirming that this is a really good opportunity to prepare for, like, just move into this energy that you want. Keep your mind on where you want to go, not so much on the problems and how you're going to get there. And maybe there is a second chance coming in, because it's saying, hey, I don't know, it's kind of funny energy, but don't bank your life on it, but it's a possibility. Keep an open mind to it. This is talking about, this was caused by abuse of power. So life's only a bitch if you are. So this is a karmic space. And so abuse of power is when people take advantage of people because they are close enough to do so, or they're in a position of authority and they, use that incorrectly. Abuse of power is quite easily, it happens a lot of the time. It happens in families, it happens in business, it happens all over the place. And it's because a lot of times, like, when people don't have power and then all of a sudden they do, they don't know what to do with it. So you sometimes have to learn the hard way when you abuse power, it's not the best idea to do so, because it catches up with you for sure. But also about being aware that if you have new power, you have to be really careful with it. It's a gift from the universe, and it's meant to be, and from the divine, it's meant to be dealt with respect. It's not, you don't want to be cavalier about power. And we have the strength, having the integrity and the strength to be able to do the right thing. And this is talking about having the courage to stay on, your destined path. Sometimes it just feels way easier. You might look at other people, they cheat or whatever, and they do get the trophy. And it's not fair. And why is it that people who cheat get ahead of everybody else, and the people that are, doing things the right way end up, what is the name of that book that my dad had? I forgot. And when my dad passed, we were going through his things, and he had this book, and I decided to keep it. I can't remember the name of it, but if I do, it was funny. It was basically about I can't remember the name, but it was about why do nice guys finish last kind of energy. And so he had bought this book about it, but it was a funny title. It'll come to me. So it's just reminding me of that. So this is about the courage to stay on your path and be able to move forward, and have the integrity to, and the strength of moral character to stay on your path, despite it seeming easier maybe to cheat. And so the sun energy is shining on this energy. I feel there's going to be some truth coming out about this energy here. Why, I want to know, inquiring minds want to know, why does the Queen of Pentacles, who should have generational wealth and have this legacy, why does she have to be so resourceful? I mean, it's good that she can be, but I want to know why. And it comes up in a lot of the readings, and I still haven't 100%. I guess it's a different reason for different readings. So, but the sun is shining light on this, in this reading. So it's saying there's going to be some truth that comes out, that God saw it. If they didn't see it on earth, God saw it, and there's going to be justice coming down from earth. And it does definitely have to do with this devil energy. I feel like whatever stopped, whatever happened here when you were younger or whatever, a while back, is involved in this energy somehow. So whatever stopped this from happening may have been what also be part of the reason why this is happening. I don't know exactly what that would be. There's so many scenarios that could be. We do have Libra. It could just be that the people involved here were not mature enough. Libra is when you are mature enough to get married, make commitments, and start families, and that type of energy. And if you're not, many a marriage has been started when people thought they were mature enough to get married, but they had no idea what it really means to make a commitment, especially if you're planning on starting a family. And so this is about having expectations of how it'll go this way, and without realizing, no, not necessarily. You anticipate a good future, but you have to pour your energy. If you want to have a good outcome in your future, you have to participate in it. So expectations always will create limitations, and expectations that you can just sit back and let shift happen sometimes don't work out. And maybe it was something as simple as that. This is talking about the Venus energy again, going into this energy. That's why it seems to be coming back again. So this was, the star energy, being innocent, being on your path, and something happens here, and it stops like this energy from being able to come in. We have the moon. This is talking again, hidden illusions, secrets coming out, and we have the Cancer energy, which is ruled by the moon. So all of this going back again to maybe some immature competition. This can sometimes be sibling rivalry, whatever that was. It was an external force that stopped this energy from coming in. And really, this was a degradation of energy. So it was trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Not stifle so much. It is stifle, like suffocate. Like when you take a candle, one like when you have candles and you have that whatever they call it, that a candle that snuffs out the wick, you know, so that the light goes out in the candle and you don't have to pinch it with your fingers. That whatever they call that, that's what I'm seeing in my head, of that putting that light on that candle and taking the passion out of the situation so it didn't happen. That's a weird picture, but that's what I'm feeling. And then the Aries energy coming in. This is about being versus doing. And, oh, okay, so maybe that energy was talking about that energy of they were so busy doing, they didn't have time to be who they wanted to be, or being who they wanted to be, that they didn't have time to do what they wanted to do. That's you or them, both, that scenario. And then we have the Virgo energy, and this is about communication. So again, this is talking about having strong communication within yourself. And I feel this has been coming up a lot, is watch how you speak to yourself right now, because you want to focus on where you want to go, not on where you've been. Not on how difficult it is to get what you want, but exactly how to go about getting it. So focus on that. Just promise yourself, okay, from this full moon to the next 9 days, let's see how lucky this day can be. May as well. It's not going to hurt anything for you to speak well about yourself. Virgo energy is very much about communication. The Mercury, it can be very healing, your words. So you using your words that you speak with to yourself, being very healing with them, or you can do damage to yourself. And you already have enough people out there that don't want you to succeed. Why would you add to it by talking down to yourself? This is destructive behavior, yeah. So this is talking about tactics that we use on ourselves and on others. And you're on a new journey. Speak highly of yourself while you're on that journey. Your self-talk, watch your self-talk. That's what I'm picking up, that energy. And this is talking about, I feel like this is the energy of, you know, this is the divine, the sun is shining on this energy here and here. And I feel like this energy is talking about worldly and otherworldly desires when it comes to lovers. And I feel like this is saying that you will have both with this person. This will be someone that is spiritually fulfilling, as well as providing that you'll have a good lifestyle on the 3D. So that's really cool. And then we have a transition coming in from this hidden illusions. So that could very much be saying that if there's something that was hidden that was causing if you're in this Queen of Pentacles energy, something that whatever was causing you not to have this generational wealth, you know, being breadcrumbed, sometimes this energy can represent that you're going to find that you'll get the information and it's shifting, is what this is saying. You're going to be offered this beautiful cup of love. And this is talking about, we have the Empress energy here. So the Empress energy is generating at a very high level. The Empress embodies the qualities of all four queens from the minor arcana in one person, basically. So this is talking about real strong energy, like having learned a lot of your life lessons and being able to move into this energy in a really strong way, so that this is going definitely, an ace is when it's a big improvement. So it's going to be a peaceful, overflowing type of energy. And that could be in your love life and also in areas where you love to do what you love to do or be. This being and doing and being able to move forward in a strong way. So that love and money prediction, let's see, we'll talk about it in the middle of the month readings. How about that? We'll maybe in the comment box let us know if this has worked out for you. If, oh yeah, it was really lucky or it wasn't. How accurate are these astrological predictions? All right, I do appreciate your time and energy and your likes and comments. Any subscribes, I really do feel honored when you subscribe. Have a really good full moon, and I will have that next reading for you soon. Bye for now.